So it's another beautiful morning at, I think this is close to Saint Philippe. Look how beautiful the nighttime lighting looks in this game. And pay attention to the sound of the rain. Can you hear the water hit broad leaves? And pay attention to how the sound of the rain changes as I'm walking away from the forest. So this video is about how to get more team play into the game without forcing it, like games like Squad would do. So what is team play? I think it's about players gathering in larger groups and then having combat in larger groups. And I think it's also preserving the Reforger magic, which I call the whole procedure of spawning somewhere, driving 2 or 3 kilometers into combat, or doing some support stuff, and then getting into combat. Because only if you have that investment, that emotional investment before combat, you appreciate what you can lose in combat, because you invested so much time to getting there. And that's something that sets Reforger apart from games like Squad. I also think that if you spawn closer than 2 kilometers from where you think the combat is going to be, then you're not playing Reforger. Then you're just playing Squad with worst reload animations. So I have 4 ideas which I think would improve the team play. And not all of those ideas are mine. Some of them I found by just talking to other players. So the first one is making the medical system harsher. If a player gets hit in the leg, then they should limp. And if they get hit in both legs, then they should crawl. It would create an incentive for players to stay close to a medic. And the medic has always an incentive as a support role player to stay close to larger groups of players so they can help them. Because a support player wants to be useful to his team. And all of these players want to be close to a player with a car so they can get to places fast. And the car driver wants to be close to a large group of players so he can feel needed. You see how it's this synergy of trying to be close to each other. Now some players might say it's too harsh for a player to have to limp if he gets hit. But here's the thing, the incentive here is, if you don't want to start limping 3 kilometers away from the front line, stay close to a medic. And the next idea is to separate the armory from the ammo. So there should be separate ammo dumps where you get ammo. They should be placeable at any base. And armories, they should be limited perhaps to 1 or 2 per map. So let's say your armory is in Montignac and you're fighting in Mortain. Then if you want to get a special kit, you get it in Montignac, you drive to combat to Mortain, and then you're emotionally invested, because if you want to get a good kit again, you have to get back there and drive back there. So you have something to lose if you use that kit. And the third idea is to remove the easy spawns, which is backpack spawns or command trails. Because they're like a cheap drug that players get used to, and it short-circuits the magic of Reforger, which is having to invest time and emotion to get to a place where combat is. Now some players might say that's also too harsh, but I think if you look at DayZ, made by the same developer, before DayZ came out as a mod in 2012, everybody would have said the game could never work. Every game developer would have also said that the game cannot work. It would be too frustrating to have a game where you play on a 12 by 12 kilometer map, and if your character dies, you lose everything. And not only does it worked better than almost any other indie game before it. And if you look at the Steam charts for DayZ, it's currently, I think, the 30th place at the Steam charts. And Steam is, I think, as far as PC gaming goes, the biggest gaming platform. It's not only a very successful survival game, it's the most successful survival game of its type. Because any game that tried to clone DayZ in some way failed at cloning it.
An MIA there. Should we maybe address that? Yeah,
Let's stop it. Bad landing.
Yeah, let's address that issue with the MIA.